Is it possible to get your first ever e-commerce client in 30 days? And if it is, how do you do it step by step? What do you need to put in place in order to get your first e-com client in 30 days? Guys, in this video, that is the exact topic that we are gonna cover. How to get your first e-commerce client in the next 30 days. Just before we go ahead and jump into the video, I just wanted to mention that the Quantum Leap Ecomm Agency program is currently the cheapest it's ever gonna be. When I launched it, it was $397, and I said right then and there it was the cheapest it was ever gonna be. I think I put around a week time frame on it. I said I was gonna move it up, and I did. It's never gonna be $397 again, but right now it's actually $497, and like literally guys, it is the cheapest it's ever gonna be. I don't know when I'm gonna increase the price, but I am gonna increase it. Like, I'm not, you know, this isn't some sort of sales tactic or anything like that. Like, genuinely, it's the cheapest it's ever gonna be, and you know, I will genuinely be increasing the price. So make sure you go ahead and jump into the program. It is the best e-commerce SMMA program there is. The results that the students that are currently in there right now, the results they are getting are absolutely insane. Everything from, you know, signing on e-com clients, so the outreach methods we cover, and the sales, and just getting ridiculous returns for their clients. Some students are getting over a 10 ROAS directly from the Facebook ads training in the program. So as I say, make sure you go ahead, get in right now for the cheapest it's ever gonna be moving forward. And with that being said, I'm super excited to see you inside the program, and enjoy the video. Look, I'm not gonna waste your time. No fluff, let's get into it. How do you get your first e-com client in 30 days? Well, there's a few things that you need to put in place. There's no way you'll be able to get your first e-com client in the next 30 days if you don't have certain things that you hit and you stick to every single day. First things first, you must be tripling down on the correct outreach method, because you could, you know, be doing the exact same amount of work, be putting in the exact same amount of effort each and every day as somebody else, but because you're not focusing on the right outreach method, because you're focusing on an outreach method that just would never ever work for e-commerce, for example, cold calling, if you're tripling down on cold calling, spending the exact same amount of hours as this person over here, you're not gonna get the same results. Because this person over here is, as I say, doing the exact same amount of hours, but they're tripling down on an outreach method that, first things first, has been proven time and time again to work for the e-commerce niche. And second thing, it's an efficient and effective method. So they're naturally, in the same amount of time, they're able to reach out to more people. And so that increases their chances of getting a client. And so, you know, I'm not gonna cover outreach methods specifically in this video because I have so many other videos on my channel. Obviously, the Quantum Agency program just goes into crazy amounts of depth on how to get clients. I mean, if you go into there, there's literally no way you won't be able to get your first or next e-commerce client. Just really quickly, cold email, cold loom, Facebook group method, they're the three best outreach methods to get your client, right? So you wanna be tripling down on one of those that suits you best. Don't be focusing on cold calling, because you're never gonna get a client through cold calling for e-commerce. Never, maybe a slight over exaggeration, but it's not effective for e-commerce, okay? So that's the first thing. You must be tripling down on a proven, time and time again, proven outreach method for e-commerce. The next thing is that you must know your numbers. You must understand how many you need to make, how many outreaches you need to make each and every day, so that you can hit those numbers every day, and you know that by trusting the process, you're going to get your first client within the next 30 days. The way that you wanna do that is figure out how many clients you wanna get. For example, if it's one client, then you must reverse engineer the entire process. If I need one client, then how many sales calls do I need to get in order to get that one client? What you need to do in that situation is figure out what your meeting closing rate is. For example, these are completely arbitrary numbers. By no means should you be basing yourself off of this. I'm just using these as complete arbitrary numbers. For example, if your meeting closing rate is 25%, but then you'll know that you need to get 4 meetings in order to get that one client, okay? Again, these are just easy numbers. 25% closing rate means you'll have to get 4 meetings to get that one client. From here, you need to then go, as I say, we're always reverse engineering. So in order to get 4 meetings, how many people do you need to reach out to, okay? So if you know that your email outreach to meeting set percentage, again, easy numbers, guys. If your outreach to meeting set percentage is 5%, then you'll need to make roughly, again, round off, easy numbers, you'll have to reach out to 100 brands. Obviously, in this case, it'll be 5 calls that you'll get, but you know that you need to get 4 calls in order to get that 1 client. So 5 calls is perfectly fine. The way that you get 5 calls, 5 discovery calls is by reaching out to 100 people. So you know that you need to reach out to 100 people in the method that has been proven to work time and time again, whether it be email, whether it be Loom, whether it be some other sort of method. I know for me and my students that the methods that work, just proven every single time you implement them, when you implement them correctly, as I go through in the program, they work every single time. If you execute on one of those strategies, you have to do 100 of those, whether it be email or cold Loom, whatever it is, send out 100 emails to then get your 5% outreach to meeting book percentage, which will then give you 5 calls. And you know that your close percentage is roughly 25%. That will then result in giving you your 1 client. So you must know your numbers. Now you know what to execute on. That's why it's so important to know your numbers, because you know what you're executing on, you know why you're doing X, Y, and Z, and then you know that that's all gonna lead to getting your client. So now in the next 30 days, you know that you need to reach out to 100 people, making sure they're qualified, making sure that they can genuinely afford your service, all of that type of stuff. Then from there, by trusting the process, you're going to end up with a client. So that's why it's so important to know your numbers. So that's the second thing, okay? That's the second thing. So let's get your first or next client in the next 30 days. That's the second thing, is to know your numbers. First things first, triple down on a proven outreach method for e-commerce. Second thing is to know your numbers. And the third thing is to be consistent. Without this third thing, well, really guys, without each and every point, it's not gonna work. But most importantly, you need the third point of being consistent. While, you may not think it's the most important, kind of aspect, the most important aspect is the best outreach method. Yes, it is. But also, if it doesn't matter if you've got the best outreach method, if you're not consistent, you're not gonna hit your 100, and you know that you need to be hitting that 100 in order to get your client. So if you're not consistent day in, day out, then you're not gonna get that client. So consistency really does, essentially it ties everything together and it brings everything home, okay? Because you need this, which is your best outreach method. You need this, which is to know your numbers. But if you don't have, your consistency in place, then the two cannot connect and you won't end up in getting your first or next client in the next 30 days. That is how I would literally right now go about getting my first client. Triple down on the best outreach method, know your numbers, and from there, be consistent day in, day out, without failure. Trust the process. That's the most important thing, to trust the process, know that it works, but you need to be consistent and don't respect crazy results. If you're doing your outreach every single day and you're expecting to get 3 meetings booked every single day, then that's gonna massively take you away from your consistency, because if you don't get your 3 meetings that you're expecting, then you're not going to be motivated the next day to do it all again. So don't expect anything, trust the process and just focus on sending out your 20 emails or your 10 emails per day, whatever it is for you personally. Focus on sending that out and don't fixate on getting any sort of result. Don't fixate on getting any sort of results there and then, because if you don't get those results that you're expecting, that's gonna make you super demotivated, and it's just gonna take away from the entire idea of this, this idea of consistency is gonna take away from it all, which could massively, massively hinder you actually getting the results that you want to get at the end of the day. So guys, I hope that makes sense. Triple down on a proven e-com outreach method, know your numbers, and be consistent. And guys, really, there's no doubt in my mind that you won't be able to get your first or next e-commerce client in the next 30 days. So guys, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.